southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Severe storms could start moving across the state from west to east tonight. Our severe weather alert day continues, and meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us first with the latest on what to expect. Evan.
That's right, Steve. It's been a bit of a gray day so far around the region. We're continuing to watch, though, strong winds beginning to move into the area and that warmer air, and that's going to help fuel those thunderstorms into tomorrow. Buffalo Mountain camera right now, if you look close enough, you can actually see a little strip of red in the distance, clouds parting just enough to get a little bit of a sunset out there, but that's about all the sun we've seen today. Mid-50s out there right now. Wind advisory in effect for just about everybody as we head into tonight through tomorrow afternoon, because we're going to see 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts out ahead of the potential for showers and storms. That's what's going to help bring in the warmth and the moisture to help fuel those storms. Mid-50s, we've held steady so far. Low 50s, Cumberland Valley, but we're all going to be in the 60s as we head through tonight. You can watch how fast those storms have been moving along the warm front today. That's that warm front pushing on through right now. Gave a pretty good downpour to places like McDowell and Pikeville not too long ago. We're watching areas out to the west for shower and storm development. Already seeing some getting going near Little Rock, Arkansas. It's that area we're going to have to watch as we head later on tonight. We do have that 1 out of 5 marginal risk in effect for us, the 2 out of 5 knocking on the door, and look out west, a 4 out of 5 moderate risk for severe weather. So go ahead and download that WYMT weather app if you haven't already. You'll get the alerts right to your phone on Android and, of course, on the iOS App Store as well. And, of course, you'll get our latest thoughts and our latest radar imagery as well, with all those updates coming as those scattered storms move in early in the morning. I'll have the details on timing, impacts, and everything else coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A Southern Kentucky school district is seeing an increase in COVID-19 cases and has decided to send kids home for non-traditional instruction just ahead of the holiday break. The superintendent of Barberville Schools says cases started increasing within the past week or so. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to him about what's happening there.
After Thanksgiving break, we saw a little uptick.
Barberville takes part in the Test to Stay program adopted by the General Assembly earlier this year.
It's been a great thing for our district. It's allowed kids to come to school even if they do pass the Test to Stay every morning.
But more students and some staff were even testing positive.
We have seen some head colds. Then we've also seen kids that's very sick. So it varies from student to student.
School leaders decided to send kids home for NTI next week, and there's 2 weeks of holiday break after that.
Hopefully with this break, 3 weeks off, that we can get everybody healed up and well, and we can start school back after the new year.
Masks are currently optional in Barberville schools. The school board could decide to change that. It's on the agenda next week.
We have agreed to sit down each week and talk about it and look at our numbers. And unfortunately, in the state of Kentucky, the numbers are increasing.
While students are being sent home for next week, teachers will work all next week at the schools and be available for virtual communication. In Knox County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
We did reach out to neighboring Knox County schools to find out what the COVID situation is there, but our calls were not returned. The CDC says most Omicron cases in the United States are among people who are fully vaccinated. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more on that, plus what some states are doing in response to rising COVID cases and hospitalizations.
Concern is growing over how well current COVID-19 vaccines work against the Omicron variant. The CDC says Omicron infections are now confirmed in 25 states. Among 43 cases, the agency says one person was hospitalized.
Most people experienced only mild symptoms, which is what we would expect from a group of fully vaccinated individuals.
Federal health officials say more data is needed before drawing conclusions.
It will take some time to have a clear understanding of Omicron's transmissibility, severity, and vaccine impact.
In most cases, the patient did not receive a booster shot, and 6 were reinfections.
Booster doses increased the neutralizing antibody titers by 25-fold compared to 2 doses against the Omicron variant. A striking endorsement of the importance of boosting.
The latest CDC data shows less than half of eligible seniors have received a booster. Nationwide, COVID cases are increasing. At least 42 states have seen hospitalizations go up in the past week. Some states have announced new measures to fight the spread. Starting Monday here in New York, masks will be required in all indoor public places statewide, unless the business has a vaccine requirement.
I have to protect people, but also the economy.
And the National Institutes of Health announced that a clinical trial is being planned for a potential nasal spray COVID vaccine targeted for babies and young children. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A mixed ruling by the nation's highest court over the controversial Texas abortion law that bans most abortions. The October arguments focused on legal questions around the law's enforcement mechanism, not abortion itself. The Texas statute allows private citizens to bring civil lawsuits with penalties of at least $10,000 for violating the law. Abortion providers and the Biden administration say the law was intentionally designed to try and evade federal review.
It's an attack on the authority of this court to say what the law is and to have that judgment respected across the 50 states.
Now, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Texas abortion providers can sue over the new state law, but justices are allowing it to remain in effect. The decision kicks the case back to a lower court for consideration. America's top spy agency is reportedly changing how it trains its operatives. Sources say the CIA is moving away from the counterterrorism wars that have been the focus for the last 20 years. Instead, the agency says it will focus more on adversaries like China and Russia. They believe the change could allow the agency to add staff to outposts seen as critical to the China mission, as well as hire more Mandarin speakers and invest in new technology. The new policy gives the CIA's so-called mission centers more control over the assignments and other training that an operations officer receives over the long term. The State Department is taking a closer look at the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Friday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced that the department has started a review of how the military withdrawal was executed. Blinken says the review will focus on the Trump administration's last year and the first 9 months of the Biden administration. He hopes there might be some lessons learned to provide recommendations in the future. The Pentagon is also conducting its own withdrawal review. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could be facing extradition following a UK court ruling. A legal battle to overturn the decision not to extradite Assange was won by the United States government. That's according to the British High Court. Assange has been incarcerated at London's Belmarsh prison since April 2019. The U.S. says Assange committed espionage when WikiLeaks published secret military documents a decade ago. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, too much screen time is taking a toll on children's eyesight. How doctors say parents can step in now.
And showers and storms increase late tonight and could be severe by our Saturday morning. I'll have the very latest on our storm chances straight ahead.